I'm Chris Woodruff. I'm a professor of economics at the University of Warwick. So I should preface this all by saying I'm a quantitative economist and work mainly in quantitative methods. But I think I find qualitative research incredibly valuable in two dimensions, and for two reasons. One, on the front end, we spend a lot of time in the field doing more open-ended interviews and more sort of just getting a sense of what people feel are important issues and what they feel and how they think about those issues. Because how they think about those issues affects the way we should be asking questions when we're asking more quantitative survey questions. It affects the categories if we have categorical responses, but it affects the questions themselves. And so I think that time that you spend in the field talking with people is very valuable in designing the project and designing the specific survey instruments and the specific quantitative data collection that we do. I think the other reason that the qualitative work, as I call it, and it may not be recognized as that by the true qualitative researchers, but the qualitative work is valuable, is on the back end when you present the results, and I think especially when you present the results to non-technical audiences, the qualitative stories help frame what the data are saying. An anecdote goes a long way, and having the anecdotes from the field and having the ability to say, here's a story of an individual, and here's why the data tell me that same story is true for a lot of individuals, is a very valuable way, I think, to present the data to policymakers, to other people who work in the field, especially in non-technical audiences. But to be truthful, even in technical and academic audiences, those anecdotes can be quite valuable. The randomized control trials are, obviously one of the methods now that are being used quite extensively by development economists and others in the field. They're very valuable in a lot of ways. They give us the ability to answer a specific question very precisely. But often it's a very specific question, and we have to be careful of what the question is that we want to answer. As academics, we can frame the question in such a way that it leads to, it helps us answer a clear question in the academic literature. Often that's not the best way to frame it from a policy perspective. Let me give an example. I was involved in a project several years ago in Sri Lanka in which we gave small grants to micro-entrepreneurs. Our interest was in measuring the marginal returns to capital in these businesses. And our interest was to try to understand individuals' behavior. If returns to capital were high, why were those individuals not investing in the business? I gave a presentation on the project at the World Bank, actually, in a policy forum, and was approached afterwards by someone who said, so I take the message from this that we should go give lots of money in grants to businesses. And I said, no, that's not the message, because we don't know what the impact on aggregate output was, on aggregate economic activity was. We don't know if the people who got the grants from us and increased businesses and increased their profits were diverting purchases from other customers from other businesses, or whether they were generating truly new economic activity. Those are two very different questions. The second one may be more policy relevant. Are we generating economic activity as a result of this? But it wasn't the question that we set out to answer. And I think we want to always be careful when we think about randomized control trials. Have very carefully in our mind, what's the question this trial is designed to answer? And not to oversell it from the perspective of policies that it may not be suited to answer. One of the challenges, in a sense, in that is that policymakers have become quite taken by RCTs. They're very easy to explain. One of the nice things about them, as opposed to kind of writing down a structural model and trying to estimate a structural model and so forth, that I'll never get them to understand. The randomized control trials are very easy to explain, and so they can have a very large impact. And I'm not suggesting we don't want to have that impact. I'm only suggesting that we want to be cautious at times in how we interpret what the results of the trial are.